And Charles here. Let's think about the date for a minute. May 26th, Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. That takes a little thinking these days. My kids are out of school, so um, now we really are in trouble because we don't have any reason to pay attention to the day of the week for the most part, since we're for the most still staying inside. Well, not inside, just home. So as you can see, my thoughts are everywhere. It's just crazy. I did shower. That was an accomplishment today. That's always a big accomplishment these days, right? Showering. Um, anyway, let's get started. We're here today to talk about uh, Deadwood Shorts 4 and 5, and we're going to talk about Tequila in Time, which is one of my favorites, and no, that's the back. Fatal Traditions. Another fun one that it just came out this last year, 2019. Oh gosh. Time flies. But before we get started, I'm going to wait for some people to come in. You guys know how this goes. Those of you who've been here, hello to all that have come, and thank you for joining and visiting me. I know it's a Tuesday. It's a weird day from when we normally do it, but I just didn't think the weekend would be a good idea with everybody's schedules and all the stuff, places they're going. Before we get going, this week I went to Lili International Supermarket and I posted some pictures. Some of you guys might have seen them online. There was things like, what was it? Black fungus something. It was like a mushroom. And then there was a couple, was it shrimp? No, something else. Some stuff in a can. Was it not shrimp bits? It was something else bits. And yeah, it was kind of gross stuff. But I wanted to, and everybody was like, oh, that's a horrible place. And it does have some really, there's by the fish spots, I can't stand there. It makes me, but there's some really good stuff there too. So as we're warming up here and waiting for everybody, I was going to show you some fun stuff that we do get while we're there. I don't just walk around taking pictures of the gross things that gross me out. This product of Italy, lemon ginger marinade spread, yummy. These are really bad for me. Rolina with hazelnut cream filling. I can't even remember where they're from. I can't read where it's from, but they're delicious. Way better than, shoot, what is it? The one that's like this that we have, the chocolate's crappy and it's like waxy. This is really good stuff. These somebody recommended when I was in the aisle this one time. They're potato crackers. So good, onion cheese flavor. These I got because, and Mr. Lucky likes to chuckle at me because I like to read about the product since it's usually in a foreign language and try to figure out what is a cream cracker. And then I read 1994 to 2019 Gold Medal Award. Ooh, so then I had to try them. And you know what? They're amazing. Favorite crackers now. And then this was a new one I tried. Do you know that just about every country has wafer cookies? I mean, they come with different names. Mostly vanilla, strawberry, the usual flavor. Some have mango, some have coconut. But I grabbed these this time. I like to try it from different countries every time. And these say they're the premium cream wafers. And you know what? Best ever. Oh, that cream, it's not, you know how sometimes they're like shortening? Ugh. But this is really good stuff. So when we go, we get a bunch of other things. And I usually spend about, I would say total of a half an hour in the cookies and the candies aisle to see all the different international stuff and try to figure out something new. So there you can see it's not just really some of the stuff that's grosser to many of us. It has a lot of wonderful stuff. So, and I just realized I left my phone over on the counter. So we have a little problem because that's where my questions come from. So either I'm going to have to go over there and get it, or see if Mr. Lucky will run out here from where he's helping me out and get my phone for me because I screwed up. Today I'm starting with, there he is, he's running in, right there. I heard it ping and I was like, oh no. Thank you, Mr. Lucky. Rock, rock. That's the Easter bunny. You guys have had this. I had this Topo Chico twist with grapefruit. It's carbonated water. I'm starting with that. I do have a shot of tequila though, but I thought I'd start mellow so I can make it through the hour. It's later in the day. Sometimes I'm tireder this time because I stay up late and then I get up at the butt crack of dawn because Mr. Lucky is like a farmer. He likes to wake up at the butt crack of dawn, I swear. And so then I get up too because I just can't sleep after that, and the ravens outside start. So then I'm up. But anyway, so I thought I'd start with this rather than start with this so that I can make it through the whole proceeding. So let's get going. Christina Wayne, you say it's the best. That's right. I know. It's really good. First time I had it was somebody had talked about it, and then I found it in Vegas. And oh, come on, I want to get in my phone. Yum. It was so good in Vegas. And then, but they wanted like $3 a bottle. Oh my gosh. It's a bottle of, you know, carbonated water. Maybe it was 5. It's probably 5 being Vegas. But it's on sale right now at Sprouts for like $1 a bottle. So I had to try it. Okay, so fish and nuts. Oh, that was one of the grosser things that was on there. Ding dong. And that's what this thing is. It's like a ding dong, only better. Thank you, Mr. Lucky. Bob Dickerson, you didn't buy any of the fish and nuts. No, I try to stay away from fish and nuts. And that sounds really bad. When they're put together, I try to stay away from fish and nuts in a can. Let's make that clear. Now I'm gonna make my cheek. You're gonna make my cheeks all red, Bob. Okay, let's see. Kimberly, Tequila and Time is my favorite short. Oh, I know, I love it. It was so much fun. I read it again today while I was with my son at the orthodontist. Although I don't get to go in anymore. We have to sit in the van while he goes in and comes out. It's like a top secret meeting, of course, because they have to be careful. And so I sat in the hot sun and read Tequila and Time. Anita, I love those books. Joanne, every day is a weird day now. I agree. Yum, wafer cookies. I love wafer cookies. Deb, we have chocolate ones. They had a bunch of different flavors of those one wafers, but I thought I try to do one because, man, I fill my cart up with so much food when I go to their international market. Topo Chico is the best. You didn't buy any of the fish and nuts. That was Bob. Okay, so let's get going on the subject at hand. Let's start with Tequila and Time. Now, that was a story. I'm trying to think back as I pour this as to what spurred that story. It was a long time ago. I think, you know, sometimes there just comes a time, and it was the same with Fatal Traditions, when I think there's a story that I need to tell, a backstory. There's something that needs to be told before I can go to the next book. And I believe that was the basis, what got me going with Tequila and Time, was we need to have Violet and Natalie kind of, I think it might have partly been the Cooper-Natalie romance was growing, and I thought we need to explore what happened between them a little bit more in the past before I go forth and can build that fun sexual tension between them even further. And hello to everybody that's coming a little later. Thanks for coming. Talking about Tequila and Time for now, starting out. So that was kind of the start for that whole Tequila and Time. And I thought it would be a lot of fun to just have Violet and Natalie for the most part. I mean, we do have Coop coming at the end. But mostly this is just Violet and Natalie, so you can really see their friendship and how well they know each other. Heather asks, how much did you drink while researching Tequila and Time? And I talk about that in the Dear Reader. And I was reading the Dear Reader today, remembering as Mr. Lucky and I did do that experiment. And I did do the shots. The bad thing I did was I ate a little bit before I had those shots. And if I was going to be true to Violet, I should have not eaten much all day and then had the shots, because then by 2 shots in, I would have been out. But as it was, I'd eaten a meal a couple hours prior. So you guys know, you eat food, you can drink more, usually. So I had the 4 shots that one night, but, you know, I like tequila. So it was easy to keep researching for a while. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I have any other questions before I keep going. And again, questions you guys ask. I believe Mark and Michelle are here listening, and those are the guys that do the awesome mugs and different prizes, and they send stuff. So they're watching, and we'll draw a name from people sending me questions at the end of the hour. I don't have a clock real handy. Oh, there's one. So, so think of questions, any questions. It doesn't have to be about tequila and time. I'll answer most anything, but tequila and time is the thing. So let's go back before I go further on tequila and time. I pulled the paperwork for it, my notes. You know, a long time ago, when I first started writing, I had a lot more notes than I have these days at the end of a book. I do have in one of my notebooks the scene and sequel that I write, but it keeps getting thinner, which means I'm writing more off the seat of my pants, I think, than I'm doing with notes, good or bad. So the whole theme of this book, Tequila and Time, I know, here's the sleeper stuff. It's like college English literature 101 or high school English. What is the theme of the story? The theme I had in mind was just reflection. Wait, no, let's stop because that's Fatal Traditions. Let's go off the real notes. Jeez, I'm not even drinking. I'm not even drinking yet. Look at this. Tequila and Time, the theme is secrets. And we were going to discover secrets. So, and the first line, I'll do first lines another time. But anyway, so the theme, of course, was secrets. And we were learning about their different secrets they'd held. And one of my favorite is when they're talking about their brothers. They're asking, did you ever like my brother? Did you ever, kiss my brother? Which is really funny when you've been friends for a while with someone and then you think, oh God, they actually like my brother. Ooh, because, it's your brother and you grew up with them. So that was one of my favorite where she's asking, Natalie asked Violet about, did you like Milo, brother? She's like, I changed his diaper. Oh, well, Natalie's like, well, he's an adult now. He doesn't wear a diaper anymore. And then Violet's like, well, yeah, he's hot now. And then Natalie's like, that's kind of disgusting. You're saying he's hot, and then you're thinking about his diaper at the same time. So that always makes me chuckle when I read that part. I have a question that came in. Didn't they bring up celebrating Nat's birthday with shots in the book prior? Yes, I believe at the end of, so Tequila and Time is 8.5 in the series. So Rattling the Heat, I believe Violet had said, because I was kind of planning, here it comes, Violet had said, let's go out for drinks or something for your birthday. So yeah, they were planning on going out, Joanne. It's good to see you here. Okay. Christina Wynn, for the other animals, did you pull from monsters from folklore or inspiration or other sources? So I think we're talking about Fatal Traditions there. And for those, yeah, I'm trying to think. We have the Liedert. Give me, saying these is not always easy for me. Sometimes I actually learn how to say them really well when the narrator reads them because they really research and try to get it right. And I'm kind of lazy. I just go, well, it looks like Liedert, but it's not that. It's Liedert. I can't remember the other monsters that are in there. Boy, that's pretty sad. I'm sure I have them in here if I scan through it. This one, yeah, I don't know. I believe that's Spanish mythology or folklore from some Spanish stuff. Or not Spain. What is it? Those guys that are in North Spain. Oh God, my mind is just mush. Yeah, Basque. That's it. Basque heritage. So that is from that one, and he was really cool learning about that. Forest dwelling troll. I like that guy. My brother's drawing of that cracks me up. The big belly. Forest dwelling troll. That's a pretty popular in many folklore, many different ones. There's this guy. He stars in book 11, which is coming out Friday. Woohoo! Oh, and I have a little secret for you guys, since those of you who came or will be listening later, because I know a lot of you guys couldn't come because we're working. Oh, here's the other one. Nalusa Falaya. I think that was the one that was Choctaw. He was kind of creepy too. A little secret. The print version of Devil Days in Deadwood is live. I actually bought one this morning to have it shipped to me. So here's what I do these days. You have two options as an author. When you you can say, get the book set up inside, put all the files in there, and say, send me an author proof. And it will take them about a week and a half to get you an author proof. Plus, it costs like $30 for them to ship it with the cost of the book and all the extra shipping because they want to rush it and they do all this stuff. So $30 for an author proof. And then that puts me out a week and a half yet of waiting. And then if I like it, well, then I have to go and hit publish, and then I still have to wait a little bit. If I don't like it, then I fix the file and I have to go through the process again. And you can see that this takes some time. Well, right now I'm up against tight times because I'm trying to have this book available for Deadwood at the end of June. So what I tend to do when time is tight like this is I just publish it. Mr. Lucky builds the files, he puts the cover, we get it all ready, and we put it out there, and instead of saying, yeah, send me an author copy, I just go, fingers crossed, publish. I mean, we've done this 30 plus times. So then it goes live within 6 hours, and I can buy the book, and I can ship it to me Prime, which is, I'm Prime, so it costs me $15 less to just do it this way, but it makes the book go live. Now, a lot of times people won't go looking for it yet because I haven't said it's live, and it's not easily found. It's just kind of floating out there till Amazon connects it all. But if you go looking for the print version, you should be able to find it. And so here's the extra bonus. If there's a screw up in there because I needed to add something else that I've forgotten, if there's anything wrong with the book, if the spine's not quite right, then we'll have to redo it and we'll publish again. And this book that is there right now will be pretty unique because we'll have, we'll fix whatever little boo-boos are there. If it's all right, then it's, just a book you got early. So, but I'm not making that announcement till I get the book on Saturday myself and take a look at it and make sure it gets the green light. So, but now you guys know. So if you're really, I don't know, maybe you can get it faster than me, but the fastest I could get that sucker was Saturday. And I don't even think they gave me an option to send it even faster, and pay for it. So, it's a little secret for you guys. Let's go back to some questions. Barbara, West Guy. Hi, Barbara. Will Natalie's brother be making an appearance in future books? Yes, he's coming. He's coming. Oh, it's going to be exciting. I talked about it at the end of In Cahoots. I think Claire said something about wanting to find out what Nat's brother's up to. So he's coming, and I'm not going to give names or anything like that yet. And I do believe he will be in both series because I can see him visiting Jackrabbit Junction and his cousins and his grandfather. And then I can also see him coming home to hang out with Natalie some and see how this all goes. So, yes, we will finally meet the guy who shot Violet in the butt with a BB gun at the very beginning. Well, he did it long ago, but we talked about it in book 1. The opening line. Debbie Owens. Hi, Debbie. It's good to see you this time. What made you decide that Natalie wasn't as experienced as Violet thought she was? I've had friends like that you think they are much more worldly, worldly. They've been around a lot more than what they really have. And a lot of people, I think, will do that in order to kind of hide behind a little bit because for whatever reason. And I really like the idea that it showed Natalie's insecurities. It showed a part of her personality that she even hid from Violet, that she wasn't as experienced as Violet even was. That she kissed a lot of guys. And that kind of a thing, but she's more protective of her heart than that. Because I think the first few books of the Deadwood series really give you the impression that, and Nat's doing it. She's making it like, oh yeah, she's going to sleep with Doc. She'll sleep, that. But in essence, it's just something that she's been hiding behind, and it's an insecurity. She gets her heart broken a lot. So I kind of just liked that the way that played out. And then, of course, I love the line where she says, I've got to find it. I know it's right here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Make No Bones is at the end of the print book, too. I forgot about that. Oh, this, where she's talking to Coop. But now you think I'm some tramp who will let any guy screw her on the first date. And he's like, that's not true. And she said, I'll have you know, I've slept with only 5 men in my life. She held out her hand with all 5 fingers extended. Vi here has a much more visited vagina than me. And Violet's like, so what now? That part always makes me chuckle when I read that because I can just see Violet half drunk going, what? So that all came together. I think it's a really good thing to show because Natalie is really, Violet's cute. Violet's got charisma, but she's not the drop dead wow beauty that Natalie is. And Natalie is that naturally. She's always working, in her work clothes. But Natalie is really pretty, and dang her, she's got the body too, the longer legs, the curves and whatnot. So I just like the idea of that doesn't mean she's doesn't have her issues and all kinds of problems that come with no matter what you look like or what's happened in your past. And now I feel like I'm just rambling. So let's see if there's another question. Let's see, Pat. Will Coop warm up more to Violet in future stories, or will they keep riling each other? You have to think about that. I think Coop is warming up. It's just, he was so hard at first. Oh, God, he was such a hard ass that it's in tiny increments. I mean, he'll never, be your teddy bear or anything like that. He's always going to have an edge because that's Cooper. And that's the wonderful thing about their back and forth is they'll be snapping at each other and then they'll be nice to each other because underlying they've become friends underneath it all. Plus, he's best friends with, mostly with Doc, and Violet and Nat are like this. So they have to get along better because of the whole relationships going on around them. But I can't see him ever totally not giving her crap all the time. And the same in return, because I think that's just, I think they enjoy it. They're alphas. They're both alpha male, alpha female, and they like that headbutting a little bit or a lot. Thanks, Pat. That was a good question. Kimberly, do you know anyone who's actually taken a sabbatical from men? If so, how did it work out? No, I know people that have not voluntarily taken a sabbatical from men. Some friends that have, and it's good or bad. I mean, I think whether you're doing it on purpose or not, you will discover a lot about yourself because you take that element away, whether you want it taken away or not, and you become your own friend, and you learn a lot about yourself. So I think there's some good things that come with this kind of a mental sabbatical thing for people, self-discovery, and then there's also loneliness too. So that's I do know people that have experienced similar to that. Let's see. I'm looking at comments now. Maybe you need to start drinking, Michelle. Joanne, I always used to look up the function on my Kindle and Google to pronounce words. Yeah, I need to. I do it when I first write them, and I try to get it in my head. But then I think I'm really lazy in my head. My brain's really lazy. There's no doubt about that. So it'll just shorten it to what it wants it to be. Love to see the artwork in the books, Heather. That's a lot of fun. We have fun coming up with, I try to pick stuff that my brother will enjoy drawing. If I just had puppies and flowers and unicorns, I think he would just be like, you're killing me. So I like to pick monsters and some of the creepier scenes, creepy buildings, stuff like that, because I think he probably enjoys that. Knowing my brother, he enjoys that more than the puppies. So I try to, when we go through, and then his wife helps me as well. She reads through in the first draft and helps to choose, a list of things that might be interesting to a reader to see. So altogether, I think the artwork's a lot of fun, and it certainly makes for even better promotion stuff that we can do. More fun for all. We've recently, Wendy Gildersley, my sister-in-law, who helps me out, she has just put together, the vinyl decals we had with the Jeep, and then we had the Mayan sun that we did, the Maya sun. We did the Scharfrichter crest that's on the cover of the book with AnnCharles.com. So we're going to have some stuff where you can, different ways of getting that vinyl decal if you want. So it's really cool. It turned out really neat. So that's coming. Let's see, Joanne, I want one. Oh, it must be the book. I can't wait for this summer. If you have the virtual signing, I'll be on it. Yes, I am going to do that. It probably won't be till July that I do a virtual signing because we're getting ready to go to Deadwood. I have to get the books. And right now my main goal is just to get them to Deadwood, ship them straight there. Because it takes a lot of times from the time you hit order on Amazon for me, behind the scenes in the author world, it takes, unless I want to pay buku bucks for shipping, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks from the time I hit order to get them to where I want them. So I really won't have them here and be here because we'll be leaving here mid-June to head up to Deadwood. So after that, I will have it. And so that's why I thought it'd be fun when I come home in July. We set up some kind of fun virtual signing and see what else we can do. Maybe we can have some other stuff that you can get for a little bit extra with the book, or I don't know. I'll figure something out. Let's see. So Christy Jordan, I can't think of a question. I'm just so excited to finally be able to attend. Thanks for coming, Christy. I'm glad you're here. Any question, doesn't matter. It puts you in the option to win. Oh God, it's a great one for you to be here. I can't think of words. I'm a blundering idiot. Christina, when? Oh, I just bought it from Amazon. It will be here this weekend. All right, you got it. Woohoo! Fingers crossed, Christina. I hope that it's all good. It should be. We've done this so many times. Usually, if there's anything we have to change, it's the cover, because the cover shifts weird. So if your cover's not quite perfect, know that it's unique, you know. And sometime if I see you, I can sign that. That's really fun. I'm glad you got it. So let's go back to some questions. I can't think. Oh, Pat Moser, what kind of creature is chewing on your boot on the new cover? Oh, I wonder if I have a picture of that. Let me see if I can. I've got the cover here and I can show you a close-up. He's really fun. And I don't want to give away too much what it is, but it is a creature that there is a problem about she's dealing with. So, yeah, you can see it. Ooh, that's reflection. And I will give you guys this, because you're here today. I will tell you, it's an imp. We've got some problems with imps, or an imp. So, that's as much as I'm going to tell you, Pat, because I don't want to give away too much and ruin the fun. But the imp is a lot of fun. Now, does anybody remember the last time we've seen an imp? What has been said about an imp? Because there was an imp in the series before. Since you used, Michelle, since you used tequila in your research, can you write it off in your taxes? I hadn't thought about that. Did you hear that, Mr. Lucky? We need to write off our tequila purchases. Huh. Wonder if we can pull it off. If my accountant's watching, I don't think she is. Wonder if that's a uniform expense. Tequila is part of my uniform. I mean, I do have a picture with a bottle, so it works that way. I like that idea, Michelle. What would your last meal be? Christy Roberts Jordan. My last meal. Christy, I want you to give me a little bit more with that question. My last meal for what? Ever in life, or before I go on a big ugly diet that makes me sad and I can only look at the good food? So ask me a little bit more on that, Christy. I'll wait for that to come in. Oh, I'm supposed to mention Wendy, Sister Wendy, reminded me that if you want to get a decal, one of those decals I was telling you about with the Scharfrichter crest, if you sign up to be a Deadwood deputy for me this round, which you've seen the post, and I'll be posting more. I'm going to take a little video later with the big United States and countries with the little pins, what we've accumulated, you know, who has signed up so far. If you sign up to be a Deadwood deputy, and it's email deadwooddeputy@gmail.com, you guys, you Deadwood deputies, will get one of those with your thank you card. So you automatically get a decal. So if you haven't signed up, you can sign up. It doesn't mean I'm going to pester you to death. I don't think. It doesn't mean I'm going to watch you through your Amazon Echo thing or your phone. It just means that you tell others about it. And you can even, it can be all verbal. You don't have to do it social media wise. You can say, write me and say, hey, my cousin, my aunt, my brother, they're all reading your books. I've got them started. I told them all about your book. That's great. Word of mouth is great. It puts you in the running for the prizes. Otherwise, just sharing, it helps me, because I can't reach like I used to, because Facebook, Amazon, everything throttles us right now as authors. We've got constant things throttling us and keeping us down, and we can't reach as far as we used to. And I do pay to reach further, but with help from you guys, Deadwood deputies, you guys make the reach go so much further than I can do on my own. So that's why I need your help. So if you want one of those, sign up to be a Deadwood deputy and you'll get one for sure. Francesca, I can't talk and I haven't even started drinking. Francesca, does Reed have a chance with Zoe? I feel sorry for him. I feel so sorry too. So does Violet. But you know, when you go back and you read Cold Flame, took me a minute there, you can see why Zoe is just a little, I understand, man, she had her heart really broken. And when you get your heart, that bruised, broken, you're going to hold on to that for a while, especially when you're older. I mean, like me these days, those grudges, grudges can last forever. Time to do a little shot. I just did half. That's all I'm going to start with. So I think she has a chance. I just think he's going to have to earn it. This isn't going to be an easy one for him. He's going to have to prove to her that if she opens up to him again, he's not going to change his mind. And then she's twice the fool. So once bitten, twice shy. And I just read that in Tequila and Time when they're drunk and that once bitten, twice burned, and that made me chuckle. Joanne, and thank you, Joanne, for all the awesome memes you've been making, or graphics and all that. You guys, Joanne has stepped up and been really awesome to help me get different kinds of things rolling, different kinds of images with my book cover to make it fun and exciting. So thank you, Joanne. And someone else just did that today too, or yesterday, and made a really cool graphic with the cover. And so if you're a Deadwood deputy and you want to do that, we'll be sending you some files as well, but you can take the cover and make your own memes and graphics. I love that. That is so cool. I just don't have the brains to do that. It's hard enough to think up the story. With Coop now understanding part of Vi's world, does he get protective of her? That's Joanne. That's an interesting question. I think he is more protective when it comes to Hawk. He'll chastise her every now and then when she's getting too sharp-tongued with Hawk, just because I think he's wary. He knows Hawk's just looking for a reason to come after her. So in many ways, he is kind of watching her back when it comes to the cops and stuff, showing, that side of him. But I don't want to tell you anything. I don't want to give away anything. But when you read Deadwood 11, we can revisit that question later. So I think you're going to enjoy that. Well, Joanne, you have read Deadwood 11. But for everybody else, I don't want to give too much away. But he is stepping up more when it comes to Violet. He not just because it's, his buddy's girlfriend. I think he realizes what she's up against, so he feels part of the team. He's part of the team now. Okay, let's see. Barbara Guy ordered a print. All right, Barbara and Joella too. Yay, you guys ordered the print copy. Fingers crossed for everybody. Jenny Smith, I love the purple hair. My daughter's hair is purple. Thank you. I can't get to the hairdresser. I could probably now, but I'm letting her get caught up with everybody else. So I think I'm just going to keep it purple for Deadwood. I'm kind of lazy that way, and I've gotten used to just purple and silver and whatever other color is in there. So thanks. It's fun. Let's see, Joanne, there are so many groups you can post to on Facebook to promote, but you have to be careful not to get thrown in Facebook jail. Joanne was it last time, Joanne? Was it Don't Let It Snow that you got thrown in Facebook jail, or was it Fatal Traditions? One of them. Joanne got put in Facebook jail for promoting my books and others, but so we all felt really bad for Joanne, and we cheered when she got out of Facebook jail. Oh, woo, yay, purple. Whew. Okay. Let's see, there's another. Sharon Wheeler. Hi, Sharon. Did Chuck enjoy the hummingbirds? So cute. Oh, drawing the hummingbirds. Yeah, because they had the little boots, right? The guns, because they were kick butt. We call those Arizona hummingbirds. And I think I mentioned that in the story. Because we, maybe they're all like this, but when we were in Washington, the hummingbirds weren't this aggressive. But down here, I swear they're packing pistols, man. Those little hummingbirds, they are just like, and they're so fast. So when it came to, that whole thing in cahoots with the hummingbirds for towing service, I loved the idea of those guys having little guns on their hips and stuff. Hi, Eva. She's my neighbor. Eva's right in the next town over from me. Well, not even that far. Thanks for coming today. Maybe I'll see you sometime around when I go over there next. Have you ever used the Muggy-on Rim monster as inspiration? No. I need to look that up. I need to make a note of that. And I am writing that down. And I think I said that right. Now, for those of you who see what she wrote, it looks like the word Magellan. And that was a big thing I took time to learn way when I moved here back in my 20s, was they call it, it looks like Magellan Rim, but it's the Muggy-on. I think I'm saying that right. And it's the edge of the Colorado Plateau here that goes into through Arizona. And I could give this whole big geology talk that I give to all the poor visitors who come here, because I am a huge fan of the Colorado Plateau and the Muggy-on Rim and all that geology, nerdy kind of stuff. I love that, but I won't do that today. But if you come to Arizona, it's really cool. It's one of the few places you can definitely see the edge of the Colorado Plateau, which is, you know, for a geology-loving person like me, wow. Barbara West Guy, fatal traditions hinted at different things to catch the leader. Sorry, you spelled that fine. Will Violet consider using Dominic as bait? I know, right? She should, because he's such a, well, he's very charming. He's very wily, but he is a jerk. I want you to read Deadwood 11, and then we'll have to talk about Deadwood 11. Maybe we talk about that. We have a little rehash in July when everybody's had a chance to read that story, and we can talk about what happens in it, and then we can talk about more along these kind of things, because it's a lot of fun what goes on in there and what you learn and how things are going. So that's as much as I'm going to say, Barbara. It's a good question. Pat, what is Zoe's zodiac sign? Crap. I need my backup brain right now, which is Diane, who I'm not sure if she's here. Diane Garland, are you here? If you are, have I said what Zoe's birthday is and what sign she is? The twins are coming up. Their birthdays are coming. For those of you who asked me, when are they going to finally turn 10? They turn, if you remember back in the early, oh gosh, it's the first Deadwood short, I think, when I talk about when their birthday was. I'm trying to remember if that's the book they do it. Seeing Trouble. Their birthday's right around Valentine's Day. So when they'll turn 10. Violet's is, I think, March or April. I can't remember. One of the books I talk about that. I have to look up birthdays. I have trouble remembering anyone outside of my immediate family. So, but anyway, maybe Diane will come on and tell me if I've said what Zoe's birthday is, and we can figure that out. She's stubborn. Whatever zodiac sign is stubborn. Aren't Scorpios really bad that way? No offense to any Scorpios on here, but I remember reading a thing once where Scorpios are like murderers and stuff. It was really funny. They're so badass. Tina Ingram. Hi, Tina. What is your favorite tequila? You know, we were down in Mexico. I've been down there a couple times. And sitting at bars trying different tequilas that they give us, the bartender or the waiter brings. And I always think, I love that tequila there. I'm going to remember the name of that tequila. And then 3 other tequila shots later, I don't know my name anymore. So I wake up the next morning and I think, what was that tequila that was so awesome? I got nothing. So I don't know. Right now I drink Hornitos a lot because I like the flavor, I guess, if you can really like the flavor of tequila. I guess there's different flavors. I drink Hornitos because I can get it at Costco for a good price for a huge bottle. And then I can mix it with lemon and a little ice, and it's one of my favorite drinks that way, especially in the summer. But I need to become a tequila connoisseur, but I have not reached that stage in life yet because the 2 children I have. So give Mr. Lucky and I time to get our kids a little older, and then we can really get serious about figuring out what different tequilas we love. Becca, will Violet's children ever be caught in the middle of one of Violet's battles and learn very quickly about what part of their legacy, or will it go slower and learn when they are older and ready to take over? That is a really good question. But Becca, I don't know that I want to answer that fully because I don't want to give away anything. So I'm thinking this through. They are going to learn the truth in time. and I'm not going to give away how or when or what's going to happen. As you know, it's already creeping up on them. They're already showing signs of things. So that's already coming. But it's all going to come out. Everything's going to have to come out. Otherwise, it's why are we telling this story on their part, for their character lines. Zoe's birthday is before July. That's what Diane says to answer the other thing. When I started this series way back then, 10 years ago, I never really thought the importance of birthdays, but as I keep going, I found that it's really important to figure out birthdays ahead of time, because it really plays into the story when you're doing a series. So you're seeing signs of that as we keep going, and you see different birthdays coming and going, like Natalie's. And I don't think I need to address and have everybody have a birthday party. Some people can it'll pass by and we'll mention it, but there are some birthdays we're celebrating. And I will tell you that Cooper's is coming up soon. Here's another question from Francesca. And by the way, Becca, I hope I answered your question enough. I didn't mean to blow you off. I just want to be really careful with what I give away, because I want you to keep reading and then go, oh, wow, this is so exciting. I didn't know it was going to go like this. This is crazy. Francesca, is Ray ever coming back? I'd like to see him get his butt kicked by a creature. He is. He will be back. I will tell you, he's not in book 11. He's mentioned, but he's not there. Because book 11 is just, right now the Deadwood series is, the continuation. It's not been that long since he was fired. So he's still in town. He's just not in book 11, but he's talked about. So we haven't seen the last of him by any means. Pretty sure you're not giving Zoe's birthday. I'd post bail. Diane said I'd post bail for you, Joanne. That's funny. Bob, the key. Take a picture of the bottle at the bar. That's a good idea, Bob. And then maybe I'll forget my phone in Mexico. I have to give Bob trouble. It's a long story, but that made me. If that was you, Bob, we'd have to go back to get your iPad. Melissa, hi Melissa. It's good to see you. We were just talking about your area of the woods in the big picture, in the big country. Will we be seeing more of Coop and Natalie's relationship in the book? In book 11? Yes. They're all back up in Deadwood, and it is not as if Arizona didn't happen. Arizona did happen, and we now have that to deal with as well in the whole grand scheme of things. So yes, and I've been putting a lot of thought into more, maybe one of these days having a Deadwood short with more of those two and what's going on for just them. But we'll see. I don't want to promise anything yet, because right now I can tell you book 11's done. It's out. Working on Undertaker 3 with Mr. Lucky. And then book 12 of the Deadwood series. Another full-length novel is what's coming. There's no short in between them. We go boom, boom to 11 and 12. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Corey. Hey, Corey. Thank you for coming. I haven't seen you. I hope you're doing okay with school down there. What inspired today's hat? Today's hat is brought to you by... No, I'm kidding. Today's hat, this is my grandpa on my dad's dad. And somehow in the whole deal, when my grandpa passed away and my grandma passed away, they went through my grandparents' house and they split everything up amongst grandkids. And I got a big box of stuff. And in it was, my grandpa always wore overalls. He was Northwest Ohio, a farmer. So I got some of his overalls, which I love. And I'd like to make you know how they do those celebrity things for like, one of Kevin Costner's movies, and then they'll have the outfit he wore in that movie for a certain scene, and the gun and all the whatever he had for that. Well, I would like to do a picture frame of my grandfather's overalls that he always wore on the farm, and my grandma, she loved to square dance, and I have some of her square dance dresses, and I'd like to do a big full one of her with her square dance dresses, and I even have their name tags that were sent to me, and put that in the framed thing, and I think that'd be kind of fun to hang up. This is my grandpa's hat. Somehow or other, it was chosen amongst about 25 of us grandkids, 25 of us, maybe less, and great-grandkids. Somebody said, hey, let's send that out to Aunt. So I got it, and I pulled it out, and I was like, it's Grandpa's hat. So it's set in the top of my closet for years. Now, as you can see, there's a little, I can't do this in the mirror. Yeah, it's a little shredded there, so it shows its age. But I love it, and my head fits in it, and I have a big head. So apparently I get my big head from my grandfather. I get my ears from him, which stick out a lot. You see that? If I wear a hat like that, you can see always the barn door ears or the car door ears. So it's his hat. That's the inspiration for today's hat. I think I might be getting low on hats, but I still have my big Halloween tote full of different hats. So we'll have to see what. I like to do a different hat each time. So that's the long story. Karen rhymed. Hi, Karen. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. I hope you're doing well up there in South Dakota. Hi, Ann. Are we going to learn more about Aunt Zoe's special powers? We are going to continue to learn more. I can tell you in book 11, she's got a glass order she's busy with. But Zoe has a lot more to offer, a lot more to come. When I start thinking about each of these characters, Cornelius, Cooper, Zoe, even Reed, and what they have, what's coming for them, I am a little overwhelmed by all the story that needs to be told. So hopefully we keep moving. I keep going. I don't get hit by a bus. I can keep telling these stories. We're all enjoying them. Nobody wants to throw tomatoes at me and say, give it up. And we keep learning more about people even further, like Aunt Zoe and everybody else that's involved with this team now. And Karen, yet another, are you doing any book talks on your way to Deadwood? I'm not. I'm going to show up in Deadwood. I did have a talk scheduled for Sioux Falls after Deadwood, but Sioux Falls is staying shut down, and I was contacted by the librarian, and they don't see that their library will be open in order to do a talk, so I can't come. However, we are going to do a Zoom talk, I think, through the library. They want me to do something online with them. So I'm not going to come your way at all this time, unfortunately. I'm just going to hightail it up to Deadwood. We're staying a couple extra days, enjoying the hills, and visiting my mom and everybody else up there, and then we're going to just come back home this time. So I'm sad. I'm going to miss all the people in between. I'm going to miss Ohio. I'm going to miss all that kind of stuff that we do. But we want to play it safe. And now we're in kind of a quarantine here, so we're really being extra careful when we go out so that we don't take anything to Deadwood. And in exchange, we want to be careful while we're there, because Prescott is really, we only have had, fortunately, one person pass away in this county due to the virus, and it's a big county, so we certainly don't want to bring anything back either. So we're trying to be very careful with going and coming. Heather, how far will Cornelius go with Violet before she completely snaps with him talking about her hair, womanly issues, or anything Cornelius does? You know, I think Cornelius is fortunate because Violet likes him, and she knows he's an odd bird, so she puts up with it way more than most she would with anyone else. And I think she knows he's not out to hurt her. He's quirky, and that's the way he interacts. They're becoming, as time goes on, quite good friends. You'll read in book 11 more. He's in there plenty, and you'll see even more about Cornelius, and like I was just saying, where we learn about each character and what they have to offer. Cornelius has a lot to offer, not just the kookiness and the crazy random facts. He is definitely a big part of the team. Sharon Wheeler asks, what about Addie and her dreams, the poor baby? I know, what nightmares that poor little girl has. I think we will learn more about these kids and what's going on with them. You know, I've said this, I think, before in one of our talks. There's stuff going on in Deadwood. Something is lighting up, if you will, Violet and the others, causing things to start happening. And it's the same type of thing where now Addie's having the dreams, and Addie's having extra, and Lane is coming on more and more. So, and Prudence is growing stronger with every book, her abilities. So, whatever it is out there that causes this, Violet's growing stronger. You can see that things are ramping up, and it's kind of like a nature thing, Mother Nature type of thing, where this gets stronger, well then this has to grow stronger, you know, and they're, because nature always seeks a balance, is the whole idea behind this. There will be balance found. And so as Violet and them get stronger, that also means shit's hitting the fan. even worse than we think because it's getting worse over here. You know, everything's ramping up. So keep that in mind as we go forward. It's kind of a fun little think about it behind the scenes idea. Let's see. Debbie, I have a daughter born on Valentine's Day, and my granddaughter will be born one on the 4th of July. You pick great times for the year. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Christina, my mom says she has a big head and most hats don't fit her. I know. I think I have a small head. I look at my head and I think it doesn't look that big. Apparently, my shoulders are just extra huge. I have like teeny tiny hands. These hands haven't grown since 4th grade. I swear to God, I got one of those plaster things you put your hands in. 4th grade, I could still fit the hand in that. They're small. So we always joke about I have really, you know, in 4th grade I had these really huge hands that just hung off because I had these big hands. Because they don't look that small now, but they are. Okay, enough about my hand thing. Never be a hand model. I've given that dream up. Sharon, what about, oh, Anita. Hi, Anita. How long does Harvey stay in Jackrabbit Junction? He just stayed as long as Natalie. It was just another few days. So they're back at the beginning of Deadwood 11. Natalie and him came back together. Cooper took her pickup home so that she could stay with Harvey and ride back and bring the camper home. And it's only been a few days after the end of In Cahoots with the Prickly Pear Posse. It's only been about a week since that story ended that this one starts up, I think. I need to look at the date. It's a week and a half, something like that. So Cooper's been back a few more days. Natalie and Harvey have just been back like 2 days, I think, when the story starts. So that is all very fresh, just so you know. And if you've read In Cahoots, you know what I'm talking about, what's very fresh still, which is exciting. That's all still in everybody, in their minds and moving forward. And the same with Violet with Fatal Traditions. That was New Year's, so it's not that, it's only like 2 weeks, if that, after that. So all that we learned about the leader in Fatal Traditions comes into play in number 11. Barbara asked, will you tell us Cooper's first name in the new book? No, I can't. He won't let me. I know it. I do know it. I just can't tell you because it will break his confidence. And I know that's crazy because these are guys in my head, but I'm telling you, you don't want to piss off the characters in your head. You got troubles when that happens. So, I was going to read a little bit from the new book yet. Let me look at the time. Maybe I should. But first of all, Jeannie Smith, hi. Will Natalie get any paranormal powers? We will have to see. Right now, I think of Natalie kind of like, for those of you who watch the Marvel movies, what is her name? Darn it, isn't it? Natalie. She's you guys know who I'm talking about. She's the redhead in the Marvel movies. Somebody help me out. Oh my God, I have the worst brain this afternoon. I sat in the sun too much today. You know who I'm talking about. She's got the red hair. She's kick butt in the Black Widow. Isn't she like the Black Widow? Anyway, I think of Natalie like her. Not with the superpowers, but, you know, very badass just the same. And always willing to go right into fighting. Natalie will run into a fight. She doesn't walk. She will run right in, especially if Violet's involved. So, okay. Bob Dickerson asked, will you be wearing all your various hats in the shoot? We don't have the space to carry all my hats. Really. I mean, we only have the van. And we're making, each kid gets a seat, a row, middle and back. That way they don't hate each other by the time we hit. And we're driving straight through, so it's going to be a crowded full van as we truck on up there. So no, Scarlett Johansson, that's it. So that's who I kind of think of Natalie as. Scarlett, especially, she's just, she's a fighter. Just like her cousins. She will go in and swing it, and that's kind of her superpower in her own way is, you know, everyone else will hesitate, and Natalie will just go, nope, let's do it. I'm in. No hesitation. Debbie, will Violet ever start reading her family's book, Executioners? I wondered if someone's going to ask that after, you know, since we're talking about Fatal Traditions. Well, they've read through some of what they have in the book that's translated, but the problem is there's those 3 other volumes that have not been translated. And they are in Latin, and they cover 2 of them at least cover the Dark Ages, which was very dark, just as the Dark Ages sounds. So, I don't know. I like the idea more that Zoe will be guiding Violet through a lot of this. That is Zoe's purpose, is to be her teacher and her mentor of sorts to guide her through. So in order, I have to write the whole frickin' book in Latin. Not that I write in Latin, but I have to write the book in addition to, having it, if I have the book come out. And there's a part of me that likes the idea of opening the book at random and finding stuff and going, oh, okay, that's really cool. Let's write about that now. So, and we do have a winner, but I'm going to announce the winner in just a little bit. I want to catch up here. Let's see. Kimberly asks, since Violet is a timekeeper now, do you think she would be able to go back in time and meet Clementine and Prudence in their flesh? I don't know. We're going to have to see. If you remember in, oh boy, is it book 8 where somebody tells Violet, I think it's Doc. It's the story of the timekeeper the execution that used a timekeeper that went back and forth because her kids were in danger, so she went back to try to help her kids, and her husband was in danger, so she went back to try to help her husband. Oh, the phone's ringing. So there is a real risk if Violet starts using time that way. That is not, it's not as easy as let's set our, magic watch back to this and let's go visit. You go through those doors. I think Doc read in another one that you could go through that and you might never come back because you'll get lost in time. So it's not as easy as just dialing up 1877. I think that's the year those are set. And saying, or 1876, and saying, let's go back in time to that. So we'll have to see. That's something that's, I don't want to give anything away, but there's limited. Nobody ever calls us. No one ever calls us. What are the chances of somebody calling us right now? That's crazy. I can't even remember the last time somebody called our landline. Okay. Jan Lawrence, did you name characters after people you know or fans? Well, I can tell you right now, it pops up in the top of my head. Hope. Blake and Hope, Violet's mom. I don't know if Hope Prentice is here, but Hope's a longtime friend of mine, has been here since the start, pretty much, of the Deadwood series. And she was there the day I was online with me, the day I was coming up with their names, Blake. And then I said, well, what about her mom, who's kind of a flower child type of thing? And Hope said, Hope? And I was like, that's so perfect. Because if you know Hope Prentice, who I was talking to, not a flower child. Nothing like the whole flower child. Hope's very down to earth. So yeah, there's that one. Willis Harvey. Willis is my brother-in-law. I also have a Willis, I think, in Jackrabbit Junction. I love that name, so I use his name for various characters. Harvey was the last name of a coworker I used to work with, whose grandpa's name was Harvey Harvey. So I loved Harvey Harvey. The stories he was, I think he was a World War II pilot. He had some wonderful stories about his grandfather, Harvey Harvey, that he would tell me. And so Willis Harvey, and I just use Harvey for that. So there are some tie-ins to real people there. Not really based on, his grandfather was not the one that would go to Nevada and go to the chicken farms and do that kind of thing like our Harvey is. But I always like that name. And of course, Doc Nice, those of you from my hometown know that the man that birthed me into this world, it was Dr. Nice. So I did, he's a hero in my eyes because he was our small town doctor and he was wonderful. So when I first came up with Dr. Nice, that was kind of based a little bit off one of my heroes from childhood, our town doctor, in our tiny farm, small town type of thing. So yes, sometimes I do. Tara, will Cornelius ever get to visit the lady he met in the other realm? I can't remember what her name was, but she helped. We shall see, Tara. Yes, I think that could come in the future because I really liked her. She was so cool. I liked her, and I could see going back to visit her. So when they come on scene like that, and I really like them, I can always, I think, okay, we'll be back to see you again sometime soon. Francesca, it's Prudence calling. Yeah, really, she's very demanding that way. She would call twice, too. I could see her doing that. Barbara, could Clementine be coming back to help Prudence and Violet? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with Clementine, Prudence, and Violet and the whole world of Deadwood. I mean, we're still over an Undertaker series. There are so many things. There are so many things going on. I can tell you, Undertaker 3 is so much fun. You guys are going to love it. Those of you, I hope you've read the Undertaker series, because there is so much now going on back then, and you can see tie-ins with the current day one. So we're really into the thick where the two series are, that's me mixing it. So please, if you haven't checked out the Deadwood Undertaker series, I recommend you give it a try, because they're very much going to have strong ties together. And it's a lot of fun. We have so much fun, Mr. Lucky and me, coming up with the ties and the different things and all the fun Old West stuff. It's a great time. And I wanted to say that the winner, I need to announce the winner. Let me go over to the winner of today's mug with the monsters on it is Kimberly. I'm not going to say your name right. Dazat Gauthier. Did I say that last one even right? Did I come close? Because that looks French. So Gauthier, Kimberly. So you are the winner. If you will send me a private Facebook message with your mailing address, physical mailing address, I will share that with Mark and Michelle. And thank you again, Mark and Michelle, for that great mug. It's so cool. You guys come up with the best stuff. So let me go back over here. Yes, I'm looking at some of the comments. Black Widow was who I was talking about in regards to Natalie. So it was who I said. Natalie doesn't hesitate to jump into hell for Violet. That is right, Heather. She will, boom, in a heartbeat. Faster than Violet will jump into the thick of it. Joella, love the Undertaker series. I'm glad you enjoy it, Joe. We have a great time with that story. It's so much fun to brainstorm. Mr. Lucky has a great imagination. With all the Old West stuff we watched, and just soaked up so much stuff. I love it. I love when I get to go through and read what he's written, and then just makes me smile. Okay, anyway, Kimberly, you had a question. If Violet met Prudence in the past, do you think she would take advantage of the situation and kick her back? Or would she be afraid Prudence would get revenge back in real time? Maybe. I mean, Prudence is, let's be honest, when it comes to executioners, Prudence it can be a bit of a bitch. I know many of you have said that. But Prudence is very badass. She is a no-nonsense. To me, Prudence is what the cookie cutter of an executioner is supposed to be. Not have a lot of emotion involved. Very badass. Works alone. Doesn't hesitate to go after whatever. That is what a true executioner should be. Violet's emotions get involved. She is very much, she likes a team. She's not the loner that Prudence is. So what I love about the two of them is you see with Prudence what Violet could have been, but she's not. But Violet has her own strengths because of who she is. So it's a really good showing of the two different types of executioners. And then there's Clementine, who's different yet as well, who's a lot of fun too. So I don't know that I answered your question, but I think it's fun to see the other everybody. Kimberly, Missy Barnhart. Hi, Missy. I'm trying to figure out if that's Prudence in the Undertaker series. I'm thinking yes, she's a character I would like to know more about. She signs her name, the Rogue, signs her name with a P. I'm not going to say it, but the Rogue Executioner, and a rogue means that she's doing what she wants to do, signs her name with a P. So there you go. I think it's without me saying it. But we'll see more as time goes on. Pat, will Prudence ever help Violet without being so cryptic? Pat, on Friday you get Deadwood 11. And we'll talk about that question later. But stay tuned for Deadwood 11. There's a lot of fun stuff coming your way very soon. Let's see if I have any other questions. Many of us. Okay, the Undertaker series, good. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the Undertaker series. And I did say I would read a little bit from Deadwood 11. So let me do that quick. This is a scene further in, and it's just a little tidbit. I'm not going to read a lot. Here's a little inside. I'm about to post. I might do it tonight. If I don't, I'll post it tomorrow. I'm trying to space some stuff up. But it's called Untitled Chapter Podcast. I was interviewed for this, and I was on this podcast. Jason is the the podcaster. He's very funny, wonderful guy. In this podcast, what his concept with these podcasts are is that he has authors in and they read a sample chapter, because in the old days we would go to libraries as authors or bookstores and we would read from our books and then we would talk with people, but that doesn't happen as much anymore, and especially now with coronavirus. So we did a little interview, and then he wanted me to read. So I read 2/3 of chapter 1 of book 11. So, and I will put that out, like I said, probably tomorrow, because I want to space some stuff out. But stay tuned. Look for it on my Facebook feed. You'll see chapter podcast or sample chapter podcast. Bleh. It's actually out there. I mean, you don't need to wait for me. If you look up sample chapter podcast, I think he already posted it today on his channels. But it's the first chapter, so you can learn, you can hear more what's coming. I didn't finish chapter 1, but I read for a good 25 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes. Seemed like a while. And I'm not an actress, remember that. But I did try to have fun with it. And I don't usually do that. So this was a rare thing for me to read my own stuff aloud, as is today. But if you want to hear a little bit more from chapter 1, look for that. Okay. Violet Lynn, Aunt Zoe chastised as she dished soup into bowls and handed them around the table where the kids, Harvey and Doc, all sat, along with Cornelius, who must have arrived while I was down in the basement. How many times have I told you not to run up and down those stairs? She did a double take when she looked at my shirt, but didn't say anything. I couldn't remember how many times she'd warned me about the stairs. She'd been saying it since I was younger than Addie and Lane. Nat, she said, will you grab the pitcher of lemonade from the fridge? You're like a heifer in a corn crib, Harvey told me, slicing off a piece from one of the 2 loaves of sourdough that sat next to him on a cutting board. I dropped a loud kiss on my aunt's cheek before sliding into the chair next to Doc, who squeezed my leg under the table. I pointed at the grinning old buzzard across the table. I told you to stop calling me a cow. Can I say you look as pretty as a red heifer in a flower bed? Red heifers are real lookers, Doc said, his eyes creased with laughter. Zip it, candy cane. How about hungry as a heifer in a bare pasture, Harvey threw out. My grandfather used to say that, only he used hungry as a billy goat instead, Cornelia said, looking at me. Violet is more of a sheep, though, with that hair. I aimed my spoon at him. Don't start with my hair, Pied Piper. Back to Harvey, I said, keep it up and I'll arrange to have one of your gold teeth yanked out the next time we visit Zelda's dentist friend. Watch it, boys, Natalie set the lemonade pitcher on the table. Violet is as excited as a calf in new clover tonight. I wrinkled my nose at her. Had to get another bovine reference in, didn't you? She blew me a kiss and slid into the seat between Cornelius and Lane. There you go. That's just a little tidbit more. You can see a little bit more table time with everybody, which I love. I love when they sit around the table and have conversations. It's so fun. So let's see if there's any other questions. Raised and trained. Tara asked, Clementine was raised and trained by her grandparents. What was her grandfather, if not an executioner? He was more like, her grandmother would have been the same as Zoe. Typical. These executioners all have their trainers or their teachers. So her grandmother and her grandfather kind of played that role. If you remember, the grandmother would teach her languages and several more mental things about being an executioner, whereas the grandfather taught her fighting skills. So together they worked to train her. And if you remember the story of Clementine, her mother, of course, they trained, and her mother was an executioner and went out and fought. Unfortunately, she was killed in duty, in the process of doing what they do. So that put Clementine next in line, and they had to go back and start training her again. So that's kind of the whole Clementine thing. So I think we're about ready to wrap it up here. Debbie asked, do you think Prudence arrogance got her and her family killed? Well, I know what got Prudence killed and her family, so I can't tell you that. But arrogance would be a good guess because Prudence is quite full of herself. So that would be a really good guess, but I'm not going to tell you what really happened. So you will see. It will come. Trust me. We have all kinds of answers to come and more questions and all that good stuff. Barbara West Guy wants to know, when will Undertaker 3 be out? And we are aiming for, I know Mr. Lucky's listening. I say September. It's out in September. We'd like it by the end of August, but definitely September. So I think he's 2/3 done, right, Mr. Lucky? So it's coming. I shall be shifting gears here very soon, and I'm building Deadwood 12 right now and getting everything set up and trying to get the first chapter going. And then I will be switching gears and joining him over in Undertaker world, which will be so much fun. I'm looking forward to shifting. And oh man, there's so many fun things going on with Boone and Rabbits and Clementine and everybody and Hank. Okay, so I think we've hit, we might have another, Sarah Astley, I haven't got a question, but I just wanted to say that I'm loving listening to the questions and answers. It's 1:05 a.m. Oh my gosh. And I tried to do it, Sarah. I'm trying to hit all kinds of times. So sorry you have to stay up. And I'm up for work in 4 hours. Oh my God. Good luck tomorrow, Sarah. Drink some coffee on us. I love the Deadwood and Undertaker series. Some of my favorites. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us, Sarah. It's really cool that you hang out. I love it, and I appreciate. And tomorrow you can curse me all day long, and that's fine. Just make my ears ring. That's really cool. When 3/4. Oh, Mr. Lucky says 3/4 of the way done. He's 3/4 of the way done. Oh, this is exciting. You guys are gonna love it. So I think we're caught up on questions. I've read the things I wanted to read for the most part. There's more we need to talk about the next time. However, book comes out Friday. Deadwood 11's out Friday. Print book, as you guys know, is already out there, but you probably can't get it till this weekend. I mean, if you can get it quicker than me, curse Amazon. How come you get to get it quicker? But hey, it's out there. We're going to have fun. I'm not going to do one, I don't think, next weekend because I don't want to. I want everybody to have time to read it. So stay tuned. I do want to do an online fan party before I head to Deadwood with you guys. And we'll have some fun giveaways and we'll do some stuff for the fan party. So we'll take some questions. I'll have to be really careful because I don't want to give away anything. So that's why I'm hesitating and going to give it a little bit longer. So you guys get a little break from me. Unless we feel like we need to get together and drink some more, we could do that for half an hour and talk about other things. But I will be online. I will be talking about when we'll have the fan party, when we'll talk next. I do want to do the other series where we talk about the different books because we have, of course, all of Jackrabbit Junction. We have the Deadwood Undertaker series, which is, I think, what we will do next for book clubs. We'll talk Undertaker. And then the other books. I mean, we have lots to choose from yet. So there will be more of these. We'll keep doing them. But right now, I just need to get through the next week of a book being released, and then I want to hide under the bed for a little bit when it's out there because I always like to hide under the bed with a big bottle of something to get through those first few release days. And we shall see. So stay tuned. I will announce it on Facebook. We'll do events. We'll do the whole thing. We'll keep it up. When I'm in Deadwood, I'm going to try to do some live videos and fun stuff there. So those of you who haven't been to Deadwood or can't go this year, we'll see some stuff. And we'll play around at Deadwood too. We're there for like 10 days. So I'll try to have some fun stuff for you guys as well. But thank you all for coming. And I hope you have a great week. And we will talk some more again soon. And take care of yourself. Be safe. Bye.